And the good news is France is a go, so we are 12. We are down to 11. Unfortunately, Brazil will not be joining for this after that incident yesterday during practice racing, but France is a go. So Quentin Delapierre just about 90 seconds away from racing once again, and he does like the speed.
Yeah, I mean, there's an awful lot of actions, but this is their kind of conditions. When we were in Sydney a few years ago, they were pretty much unplayable on this similar setup, and he knows that. He just pushes hard, doesn't he? Maybe pushed a little bit too hard yesterday in the training and really found a bit beyond the limit, but here we go. Crucial moments now for the crews, and it's the Bonds Flying Rouge that have really wound things up here. We know how tricky this start will be in these gusty conditions. So yeah, excited to see the next minute play out.
42 to kill. 55.
Under a minute to go before the start of the Germany Sail Grand Prix here in Sassnitz, the Rolex SailGP Championship, and the 11 teams now making their way into the start box. Remember, cannot cross that red line until the clock goes to 0, and so now the dance begins.
Yeah, we can see it's a small start box. Look, bottom left-hand corner of our screen, how close they are to the fans on the shoreline. It's a really tight box. Emirates, Great Britain late in, but that could give them a chance to attack here. United States, top of the line. Pole position is that blue area just in the middle of the line, so a fairly even start line. Will be about acceleration from here. The boats are trickling in. The black foils look well positioned. Rolex pole predictor sits on top of the Danish at the moment. Can Rockwell execute? Emirates, Great Britain winded up. Australia look late to me. Spain in the middle of the line are the favourites from here. We're watching for that line to turn white, and we're going to see who's found the perfect timing. Can the British accelerate through from there?
Oh, this is the umpire's early start penalty, Spain.
Yeah, they're going to have to go back behind the whole fleet, the Spanish, but it was the British absolutely perfect at the bottom of the line, and Mark 1, we're going to see these FDs absolutely light up as they turn away from the breeze.
Turn away in 5. Line at the mark. 3, 2, 1. Loading up here.
Watch the numbers at the top of the wings.
And it is on at mark number 1 with Emirates GBR leading the pack.
98 kilometres an hour there for the British at Mark 1. They're in a lot of wind, that dark patch of water carting them down towards gate 2 here. Long way to stretch out. It's all about accurate manoeuvres now. There goes Hannah Mills.
Tense moments on board here on race number 1. You've got Spain, Denmark, and it looks like the Bonds Flying Rouge, they've already turned away. No, that's the black foil. So the Bonds Flying Rouge still hanging in there. Here we go.
Lovely. I mean, look at the patch of wind, the Bonds Flying Rouge in the top of the course there. They look like they found a lot of wind, and the Australians are going to come back towards the group with the right of way. So tactically, very nice manoeuvre there by Tash Bryant and Tom Slingsby, but I think Emirates Great Britain are gone. They look good. A lot of wind here. They're going to try and keep it simple with a left turn at gate 2.
And at gate number 2 at race number 1, it is Emirates GBR with the lead. The home team, Deutsche Bank Germany, in second place. And now is where it's going to get really crazy as they all come together.
Yeah, Switzerland have got to keep clear. The red and the green there. Italians need to watch out. Perfect manoeuvre by Ruggiero Tito. And now the Bonds Flying Rouge have got to slow things down. What a move by the Italians is at the top of the screen. The Swiss are loose. Oh, it's so hard rounding these boats up through the breeze.
One of the trickiest things today is going to be how hard do you push. It's really tricky to know whether you're in full race mode or just getting around this mark safely. So the teams that get that right are going to have a big advantage.
So it's still Emirates GBRs. They make their way back up the course. They have first place right now. Second place is showing Deutsche Bank Germany. Third going to Red Bull Italy. And the Bonds Flying Rouge, your top 4.
Yeah, I think to Hannah's point, in these gusts, the dark patches on the water there, you know, you're going to have so much extra horsepower. It's all very well having a car with 1,000 horsepower. If you can't stick it or control it to the road, there's no point using it. So the crews have got to judge how hard and when to push to the maximum. And right now, the British have just made a massive gain, and for the German fans, look at that. Eric Highland team turning it on. They're well positioned, good shift, good pressure, moving up the course well, and they look like they're sailing a nice breeze out there at the moment, Lisa.
Yeah, the British are definitely in the best breeze around the course, but the difference between the light air and the heavy air is huge, so it really is changing the angles, it's changing the heel, it really is tough out here. But as they approach this top gate, it's actually getting a lot lighter, and as you're close to shore, it's hard to read the wind as well, so it's going to get tricky as they move up the course.
So Emirates GBR has the lead. Second place belongs to Deutsche Bank. German squad sitting in second. The fans will love that. Eric Heil at the wheel, Stuart Bithell, wing trimmer, Anna Barth, the strategist.
Yeah, United States, bottom right-hand corner as well. Mike Menninger in on the wing trim there. First day on the tools for him. Not an easy task to be handed that one over. They've got to watch out. Switzerland should have boundary room there. It's going to be tight. Bottom right-hand corner. The USA need to manoeuvre away.
Taylor Canfield, US SailGP, currently sitting in third place, so a nice maneuver for them. They don't lose anything on that maneuver, and now it looks like, Stevie, a lot of these boats are going to be able to lay right into this gate.
Yeah, and you can see where Australia are top of screen, so Great Britain look like they might turn right, but I think they're going to sail into less wind, so expect an early maneuver. I think as you go under the shoreline there, you will see a bit less breeze, so tricky tactical moments in the race here.
Tana and Hannah, as we look at the course right now and talking about what Lisa said about less wind closer to shore, how far out are they advancing and they calling these maneuvers? Are they going to make this maneuver quickly and they already think about the next maneuver?
Well, one of the tricky things is because they're tucked up so close to that shoreline, they don't get a lot of time to be able to see that wind and make their decision based on what they're seeing on the water. So you'll probably see that's why the fleet's compressed so much here compared to they're much more spread out down at the bottom gate, but really tricky to make the right call at this top gate.
Oh, French just squeezing around there. We can see it was United States probably had the best of that upwind leg there. Contan needs to reset, re-accelerate this French boat. They're really slow. Won't be easy to accelerate here. Swiss, they're in an awful lot of breeze moving down towards the bottom right-hand side of the course there, and you can just see any mistakes, you lose so much distance.
3, 2, 1, hold it, I'm 5.
These 18-meter wings, really tricky to sail when you're down the wind range. So the grinders are having to work super hard because the wing trimmers are really working the wing sheet and the twist control that they have to make sure that they can keep as powered up as possible in the lighter winds.
This is like 4 of 6, race number 1. We've got 4 races scheduled for today. It's down to the bottom of the course, then back up, and then the turn to home. And a penalty for Red Bull Italy. It looks like a boundary penalty, possibly.
Yeah, they're just going to need to lose 20 meters there. They just got a bit wide on the course. It's quite light winds out there, that is for sure. We can see Great Britain here. They're in well position for the bottom. They might have to do an extra maneuver there. Dylan confirms that. Trying to make things simple, but for Germany, United States and Switzerland, well, it's a crucial moment in the race.
Almost 200-meter lead for Emirates GBR. Behind them, the home team, Germany Deutsche Bank with Eric Heil at the wheel, and now the Americans and the Swiss in a nice battle for 3rd and 4th.
The Swiss did find more wind, and it was the left turn at the bottom last time that paid dividend for the British, and the British have been forced to go the other way. So interesting here. Maybe the course has changed a little bit, not sure, but the Swiss have been fast on this downwind egg. Black foil's looming large, but this is the final upwind. Crucial moments in the race if you want to make a pass from here.
Okay, you're aboard? I'm aboard.
US SailGP now tucked into 4th place. Top 4 position be great start for Taylor Canfield and the Americans. And a great start, Stevie, for the Germans. You got to go back to Dubai and the fleet race where they won 2nd race of the day, but it hasn't been a lot of consistent success for them, so this would be a great start.
Yeah, I mean, I think they talked to you a little bit. They've just had some practice. I mean, it's hard to get the practice, isn't it, Hannah? And maybe we're just seeing the dividends of a little bit of time on the water, because right now, Germany could be a threat for the British here. Germany look like they're progressing up those ladder lines well. They have the right of way. I think we could see a lead change here. Could be the Germans making a game.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see some teams just feel really comfortable in a particular venue, so it might be that the Germans have just switched straight into these conditions. I would say that that left turn looked really strong last time, so I'm surprised that Emirates GBR allowed them to split at that point in the race.
Yeah, tricky. Here we go. Crucial cross here. Right of way, Germany. Great Britain must keep clear, and it should be 1 more manoeuvre for the Germans, potentially 2 for Great Britain at the top. So big chance for the Germans from here.
Great opportunity for the fans on shore in Sassnitz to get on their feet. The home team is in 1st place now as we are on the penultimate leg here in race number 1. It's Germany Deutsche Bank out in front.
All about accurate manoeuvres for the Germans from here. Control the controllable on board that German boat. Try and stick a good manoeuvre. Here they go. Let's watch them here. Accuracy crucial. lovely. Look how they kept the heel in there. The boat leaning on top of them. Perfect for acceleration. Now, Great Britain has right of way, but they have to do another manoeuvre. Germany has space. If they dip behind Great Britain, I think they'll still make the mark. So tight moment, advantage Great Britain right now.
USA has moved up to second place, and now it's all about this crossing. Remember, as Stevie said, Great Britain has the right of way.
Dylan turns towards him there, tries to force Germany wide. German on the inside. Great Britain, one more manoeuvre to do. Can Germany make the final mark with no more manoeuvres? And don't forget about the United States.
Penalty New Zealand. Port tack boat not keeping clear. Go behind Italy.
So the Kiwis, the Blackfoils, will lose one position. They'll drop back to 6th place, and now it is on. Here we go, the final gate.
Germany are going to make it, Todd, here. Sprint to the finish coming.
And they spin the wheel to the right, and with the fans just off to their left-hand side, they will bring it home. Race number 1 of the Germany Sail Grand Prix here in Sassnitz goes the way of the home team. The Emirates winning moment goes to the Germans.
What a moment, what a race by the Germans. Where did that come from?
Emirates GBR led for almost the entire race, and on the last upwind leg, Germany comes from behind to take the win. Emirates GBR finishes in second. The USA holds on for a top 3 position.
Oh, I tell you what, right at the end of that, the Blackfoils and Australia got themselves back in the race, 5th and a 6th. Australia was down in about 10th place and stuck in really light winds for a while there. So good race and good comeback for those teams. Canada, Denmark, right-hand side, last at the back of the pack here. Really disappointing for them. Time for a big, big reset.
All right, thank you very much, Hannah Diamond, as we are now 1 minute away from the start of race number 2. Remember, we're scheduled for 4 races today. You get 10 points for win, all the way down to 1 point for 10th, no points for 11th and 12th. We've got 11 boats ready to go. Brazil damaged their boat in practice, so they will not be going. And Stevie Morrison, I got to think at this point, after one race, if you're France, Spain, Canada, and Denmark, you need some points in a big hurry.
Yeah, I think on the season standings overall, for France and for Canada especially, this is huge. But yeah, Spain can't afford a bad one now. New Zealand, the Blackfoils, they're out the back here. Spain out of position at this point as well again here. Germany, well, it's consistency that makes a good regatta, so can they put off a good start? United States leading the fleet back. They have the Rolex pole predictor on at the moment, and that is the fastest angle to the line where they are right now, so they're prime position, but can they accelerate? They're a little close to line. Spain out the back, accelerate the boat. Australia, the bombs flying roos are trying to judge the start. All about timing now. Wait for that line to turn white. Perfect by the Spanish there. Water start. Australia are going to be out the back.
The umpires, early start penalty, Australia.
Brilliant by the Spanish there. What a start. They're going to be so fast into Mark 1, and it's going to be Rockwool Denmark chasing them down with a faster angle. But again, we've got big breeze coming for Mark 1.
As they approach mark number 1, it is Spain who finished 9th in race number 1 that have the inside line, and we'll see what they do with it.
Oh, Rockwool Denmark gave the United States a nudge there, pushed them high at Mark 1, trying to force them off the track a bit. Switzerland and Canada are out the back. It's a big race for the Bonds Flying Roos. Can they get back in the match?
And mega pressure here in 2. There's a big low. This one is very good.
Race number 2 is on. This is leg 2 of 6. It is Spain out in front. Denmark sits in second. France has moved into third with the U.S. in fourth.
It's the Kiwis that have turned away early here, Todd. Top of our screen, the Kiwis were in the pack. They found space. They'll come back with right of way. They have nice breeze at the moment, but I don't see them getting near the first 2 boats. They could be right back in the battle for the top 3 places, though.
Yeah, it looks like there's a really light patch of wind in the middle of the course. They're going to have to work really hard to see if they can join up the pressure and make it back to the middle of the fleet.
And here they are approaching gate number 2, the DP World Gate. This is race number 2. It will be Spain. Diego Botín, Olympic gold medalist. What will he do? He's going to opt for that left-hand side. And it looks like Rockwool Denmark and France, as well as Red Bull Italy and US SailGP will all follow.
Really tight. New Zealand Blackfoils have got a tough situation here. They've not got rights on Emirates Great Britain. Germany have got to give them all space here. Emirates make it. Oh, he did a good job. 2 boards in the water on board the Kiwi boat there. As Germany get really loose on the roundup. Good save. And we're back into the upwind leg here. Who's going to find the most pressure and make the gains?
So as they make their way back upwind, you see the top of your screen, Spain leads Emirates GBR with a nice pickup there. They move into second place. And a good move as well for Rockwell, Denmark. But it is Los Gallos out in front right now, the winners of Season 4. The overall champions looking for a big victory here. You notice we have 11 boats racing and not the normal 12. We had some very dramatic moments out on the water on practice day on Friday. Brazil with a big moment damaging their boat, which means they cannot sail today because of that damage. We hope to get them back at the next event, which will be coming up September 12th and 13th, and that will be the Rockwell France Sail Grand Prix in Saint-Tropez. But that does give us an opportunity to bring on board some Brazilian crew members, and one of the very best indeed is Andy Maloney, who'll be joining us. Andy, if you can hear us, your reaction and your thoughts about this sailing venue of Sassnitz and a first-time visit for SailGP.
It's pretty epic out there right now, Stevie. This is just champagne sailing, really, on these wings with this configuration. The boats are just wicked to sail, and pretty jealous right now.
Yeah, mate, and just quickly, while we're looking at the boats here, they're going upwind, we can see it's very, very gusty. Now, it always strikes me as a flight controller, you've got your head kind of down in the boat. How much are you having to move things to adjust the foils to control the boat when it's this gusty?
3, 2, 1.
It's super dynamic in these conditions. You just got to keep your ears open and listen to that wing trimmer calling the pressure, and take all the comms in and try and be as anticipating as much as you can.
Andy, as you look on these 11 boats that are competing out there right now, is this a learning experience for you, seeing what they're doing? Are you seeing it from a totally different angle, and do you think this will help you guys going forward?
We'll definitely look back on the data from today, but right now we're just trying to enjoy watching the racing from a different perspective for the first time.
Talking of that then, which side of the course are you right now? Emirates Great Britain have found themselves under the shore, but it seems like there's a gain to be made out where the French are at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to see from here, but it's all about linking together those lines of pressure and trying to stay out of those lulls on the downwind where you can make some massive gains.
We're visiting with Andy Maloney, the wing trimmer for Mubadala, Brazil. They were involved in an incident on Friday, so unable to race today, and he is joining us on the commentary. And look at this one more time. We've got another situation. Andy, take us through what it's like at these gates and how hectic it is when you have 4 or 5, sometimes 6 boats all vying for the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, you have to anticipate so much in every role on board the boat, and as a flight controller, you're really listening to those comms and trying to preempt the next move by the team, and when you throw in 11 other boats out there, it becomes really difficult to do that.
It's pretty crazy. We see how much the fleet's splitting out here, Todd, and I think someone that maybe has got one of the good seats for a view on the water is Lisa. Should be able to maybe see what's happening out there breeze-wise. A lot of the fleet have turned offshore, Lisa. Are we starting to see a pattern to the race course yet?
Yeah, I think the reason is because there's this big mountain behind the grandstand, and that's creating this real soft spot if you do a right turn. So everyone's favouring that left turn around the top, and then again at the bottom gate. So it is changing out here, but that is the general pattern.
Here's the situation right now. This is race number 2 of 4 on day number 1. Emirates GBR at the front of the pack once again. This time, can they hold it? They have a nice lead here, almost 200 meters. France is in second, and then you got the Black Foils, Los Gallos, and Rockwell, Denmark, top 5, with the Americans just on the outside, sitting in 6th.
Yeah, that's a good move there, isn't it? The British found a lot of breeze, and they turned right at the bottom last time. So trying to pick the pattern of this race course, what are we hoping to see from the British here, do you think, Hannah?
Well, I think, you know, it looks quite likely that they can make the left turn, but you can hear just Dylan there. He's actually planning for the next leg of the race, so it looks like they're going to take a left turn here and then set themselves up for a nice, easy kind of minimising the manoeuvres on this next leg.
And Andy, when we had your old mate Peter Burling in the booth here with us, he'd talk about how important that planning the next move was on the race course.
Yeah, I mean, as you can think as far ahead as possible, but when you've got all these other boats around you, you become very in the moment, and that's what the good teams do the best, is planning as far ahead as possible and giving the crew as much time to anticipate the next move.
So they make their way through the bottom of the course. Now it's up, and then the right-hand turn will be to the finish here in race number 2. It is still Emirates GBR, but a big game there for the Black Foils as they now sit in second. Los Gallos, who got the whole shot, the Spanish champions of last season, they sit in 4th, but they are moving up quick. At the top of your screen, there is France and Quentin Delapierre.
Yeah, I think the interesting battle, New Zealand and Spain down here. We're going to get to the boundary, and New Zealand will have protection, so Spain will need to move away, but the Spanish boat, to me, looks really fast. They're sailing in a compromised position near the Black Foils, but they're gaining on them, so great move here. Key at the moment seems to be getting space. These two boats in a fight are going to slow each other down. There goes Spain. They peel away, and they turn it into a boat speed race.
really surprising from the Blackfoils there. Usually they're really great with their boat speed upwind, but either they were trying to make it difficult for the Spanish to live there, or they were struggling with something on board.
Yeah. Well, or they were up against the Season 4 champions who have got some wheels on them occasionally. It just shows, I guess, slight moments of form and finding the rhythm, but the British are in rhythm right now, Todd.
So there's your Rolex chasing time right now. The distance between Emirates GBR and France, 12 seconds, and that gap coming down just a little bit here. Remember, this is the penultimate leg. As they come up here to the top of the course, it'll be a right-hand turn and then the finish line. And this time, it looks like Emirates GBR, Stevie, is going to hold on to this one.
Yeah, they're well set. I mean, right now in the best breeze is the Blackfoils, but they are going to have to do a couple more manoeuvres. We were just saying how the Spanish look quicker. Well, Pete Burling and Liz Mackay have found a bit more breeze and have put a gain in Emirates. Great Britain look good. France stick the manoeuvre there. So De La Pierre, again, well positioned, should be set up, but they will have to watch out for the Blackfoils at the top.
Andy Maloney, how hard is it to find air out there? How hard is it to see that breeze out on the course?
On a day like today when it's this puffy, it's actually not that hard, Stevie. It's more the other boats get in the way and make it difficult to go where you want to. But today it's pretty obvious the lines of pressure, and the teams will be seeing it really well.
Andy Maloney, Mubadala Brazil, giving us the insight right now, and we turn our attention to the Emirates winning moment, and it will go to Dylan Fletcher and Emirates GBR as they win race number 2 here in Sassnitz. France will take second place, and a great maneuver by Pete Burling as they cut the gate really tight, and now the battle will be on, looks like, for 4th as the Bons Flying Roos come out of nowhere. Remember, they had the penalty early on, Stevie, back of the pack, and now they're fighting for 3rd.
Oh, it's unbelievable. They've come flying through, and New Zealand, the Blackfoils are off the foils, the Spanish are off the foils, could well lose a place. The Bons Flying Roos, well, Slingsby, he was fired up. Last to first. Well, there you go. Don't get a lot better than that as comebacks.
New Zealand takes 4th, and Los Gallos, Spain, they will take 5th. And it'll be Rockwool, Denmark, coming in 6th place. So this is an interesting course. A lot of times we say this, there's no passing lanes on this course. There are definitely passing lanes out there because the Roos, they went from 11th to 3rd.
Yeah, I think Andy said it really well, to be fair, that it is opportunity. You can see the breeze, so you can see the opportunities, but of course it's easy. As Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And I think today, once someone tacks and takes your position that you want to be in, well, what's my plan B, what's my plan C, what's my plan D? Consistency is going to be really, really hard, highlighted really, as we can see the Italians, Germans, US, all towards the back of the fleet after brilliant first races for them.
As we come under 1:45 to go for the start of the 3rd race, and then it's on to the 4th race. So halfway through, and right now it's Emirates GBR with 19 points. Germany sits on 14, and then you got a tie between the Aussies and the Blackfoils. Of course, France 12th, and the USA currently in double figures on 10 points as well. So now the scramble is on, under 90 seconds to go. Hannah Diamond, this is an important race. You definitely want to pick up some points here if you keep the momentum going into race 4.
Yeah, that's right. And we've seen, before racing today, we were thinking it was going to be really, really windy, so teams were going to have to hold back. But actually, that's not been the case at all. It's been slightly lighter. And if you're not pushing, then you're not going to be at the front of the fleet. And that's definitely something we've learned out of these first 2 races so far today.
A lot of the teams taking opportunities to take some chances. And here we go, 1 minute until the start of race number 3. So they get themselves in, Stevie. We've seen a couple different strategies. We've seen people come into the start box late. We've seen people come in early and try to control the pace. For my money, it seems like if you get in the back, you keep your fingers crossed that there's going to be an opening in Moses and they're going to part the Red Sea and you're going to find a way to mark number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to control where the opposition are going to go. I think if you come back sort of leading, you've got the best chance of a consistent start. If you're out the back early, France, Spain at the moment, you might get a shot at the bottom of the line. You might get a gap, but might is not necessarily a great word to have in a consistent strategy. We can see there, right-hand side of the screens where the start line is. Spain are up and foiling already out the back on the foils, trying to find a gap. There will be a gap for them below Australia if they're quick and if they can block the British team. It's all about acceleration here. Black foils, middle of the line, well positioned. Canada, middle of the line, well positioned. We're watching for that line to turn white, and it's all going to be about acceleration here. Rockwool, Denmark, minded up. They're going to be bang on time. Here we go. Beautiful by Rockwool, Denmark, so fast. Emirates, Great Britain again find the gap at the bottom of the line, but they won't have as fast an angle to Mark 1 as the Danes.
Little soft, okay, big puff on in 3.
Big gust coming at Mark 1 here, Todd. Watch the speeds at the top of the mast.
4, 3, 2, 1, bearing away.
And at mark number 1, it is Rockwell, Denmark, as they get the whole shot, and they go over 103.
Oh, what a moment. Fastest speed in SailGP ever.
USA goes triple digits as well.
They'd have been loose as a goose round there, Todd. Now, can they settle things up again? Try and set up for this next maneuver. Crucial here.
That was cool.
Triple digits is cool indeed. You have to go back to season 3, day 1 of Saint-Tropez. France had the official speed mark at 99.97s. No more. It now belongs to Rockwell, Denmark.
And turning. And yours.
So big speeds all across the board. Stevie, you saw it coming, you predicted it perfectly, and now the race is on. How do you maintain your position? How do you keep away from the rest of the crowd? And how do you hold off and pick off a win?
Big right gate bias in this lefty.
Okay, that's the coach there. Slightly different picture in there. It's Ian Williams, the coach, a world match race champion. He's actually going left turn, so the gain is to a right turn, is what Ian said. Good news for the Spanish, but I think you do try and keep it simple if you're on board Denmark, and it's now about locking in, getting speed, getting space, but it's Los Gallos that are going to have the attack here. Good move for Spain, potential get themselves right back in the race moment.
Yeah, that's right. And it looks like the breeze is up again at the bottom of the track here. So, you know, making that decision, do you take the easy option or do you take the slight bias? It's not always easy because these decisions come up so quickly.
Looks like it's a split on the fleet. Half and half go either way. So for the inside knowledge, we go down on the water. Lisa Darmanin, where would you have gone and what are the conditions like right now?
As Hannah says, the conditions have picked up. I think that left turn, even though there was the favour, just being on that side of the course where Denmark is, has always brought you a nice angle back. So, oh, actually, the Spanish have just tacked and they're looking really good.
Well, that was what we heard as the bias. Andy, we're hearing that, you know, we can hear the coaches out on the water talking, sorry, not on the water, they're on the land, but they're talking to the sailors. How much of a game changer has that been where you can actually have your coach giving you that information from the shoreline?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they're sitting there ashore, super calm. They can see the big picture and they can sort of see the geometry of the course and what other boats are doing as well. So they can really identify some key things that the team can focus on in racing.
And how much pressure are you feeling now that the Danish have just set 103 as the top speed ever in SailGP?
Mate, it's awesome. On these wings with these high-speed rudders and these new T-foils, the boats are going to go bloody quick, and it was cool just to hear how calm and composed TJ and the rest of Rockwell were when they hit that speed, and then they just settled into a nice downwind rhythm, so it was really cool to see.
Nikolai Sehested, Kahina Koons, Tom Johnson take a bow as they go 103. Andy, I know we give all credit to the flight controllers for getting that kind of speed, but at that kind of speed, I mean, we're talking 90s and up. What's that like as a flight controller? What's the ride like?
I think you're pretty zoned in and pretty dialed in at the time. You're just trying to think about what you're doing and think about the next move. You don't really think too much about it at the time, but after racing, I'm sure Rasmus will enjoy looking back on that one and enjoy the memories.
Here we go, as we get to the top of the course. What is interesting is I don't know if the Spanish were dialed into the Danish coach, but they've sailed the exact upwind leg that coach of Denmark, Ian Williams, called for with the right turn at the bottom, and it's been a big gain. We can see here, it looks to me like the right turn's further downwind, so the Bonds Flying Roos are going to sail less distance here, but will the Spanish put themselves in more wind?
So a change at the top of the leaderboard as the Bonds Flying Roos take advantage to sail less distance. And look at the speed now on the mast of the USA as they touch into 90 kilometers an hour as they do that bareway. And now it is on downwind. After gate number 3, you've got Australia, Rockwell, Denmark, the USA top 3, and Los Gallos, Spain in 4th.
The USA are having a huge day, aren't they? They're sailing very, very well out there. Looks to me like Los Gallos have picked the best breeze there. They're in a massive patch of wind on the bottom right-hand corner of our screen. They're going to get boosted down the racetrack here, going nearly 7 or 8 kilometers an hour faster. But when they come back together with Australia, it'll be the Australians with the right of way, so they've got to be picture perfect in this next maneuver on board the Spanish boat.
You can see how much progress the Bonds Flying Roos are making down the course. They're almost going 90 degrees to those ladder lines, so not only in good pressure, but good wind angle as well for them.
Look like the only issue at this stage. And board, tip 3.
Constant communications on board as you hear Los Gallos, the Spanish, now moving into 2nd place. And it's a precarious position right now as they make their turn. They'll drop back. It'll be the Vikings that are now in first place, fresh off their top speed performance at mark number 1, 103.93 officially.
Yeah, it's pretty quick here. Right of way, Australia. Oh, Slingsby spins it right in front of him. It's going to be Slingsby set for the left turn in front of Rockwool, Denmark. Does anyone take a brave move? Very hard to go right for the Spanish from here. Again, it looks good to a right turn if you can do it, but a very tricky boat handling manoeuvre if Spain could hope to do that. Could be opportunity for Canada here. North Star Canada are going to get to turn right. I think they'll get themselves right back in the challenge here.
Bonds Flying Rouge, Rockwell, Denmark, and Spain all up for that left-hand side. US SailGP does it, and Stevie, to your point, Giles Scott and North Star, they go for the right side.
They're going to split the course here now. What do we think, Lisa? Are they sailing to more breeze out there, the Canadians?
They are sailing to more breeze right now, but I think they're going to find it hard to come back across because there's this big patch of light spot in the middle of the course now.
Big line, boys.
It's pretty hard to be consistent out there, Todd. And Andy, I wonder at this stage of the event, how much of the teams be happy to just get a top 3 in this race?
Yeah, I mean, you're always pushing for the win, right? But top 4s, top 5s across the course of the event, you're going to be in that final. So I think top 4s people will be really happy with.
So we've got 5 teams right now, all within about 100 meters of each other, with Rockwell, Denmark, the Bonds Flying Rouge, Los Gallos, Spain, North Star Canada, and US SailGP holding those top 5 winning tickets. And Emirates GBR still lurking there in 6th.
Oh, what a great shot here. Look at the Australians all really low down, looking to minimise the windage. They're all kneeling down inside the boat, and it's an absolute arm wrestle boat speed-wise with Rockwell, Denmark here. We'll see how it turns out. It looks good for the Bonds Flying Rouge at the moment. They're coming back with the right of way, and they've been fast across there.
So Giles Scott and North Star, they're going to have to pick their way through this traffic jam.
Yeah, they've gained some distance, though, with that turn. So they've not got the right of way. As you say, they find the gap through, but North Star are going to be right in it at the top of the course. They've made a big gain on this upwind leg with that right turn at the bottom.
So the Canadians roll the dice, and we're yet to find out if it's going to turn out to be a Yahtzee move or not. Do they have another maneuver, or can they lay this into the gate?
I don't think they'll make the gate in one, Todd. It's probably one more manoeuvre from here, but they're going to come back with the right of way. So whatever happens, they've put themselves right in the chance here. Can they make this final mark with no more manoeuvres? They're going to be diving in at the top, I think.
2-time Olympic gold medalist in the fin class, Giles Scott at the wheel.
There we go, CJ wing trimmer there. He's calling for them to press. They've got a righty, but unfortunately the Australians have got a lefty. You can be in different bits of the course in very different winds. Canada aren't going to make it happen here. And the Bonds Flying Rouge, well, they're going to get it done.
Coming down here in 2, 1, coming down.
Around the gate they go, and it is Tom Slingsby and the Bonds Flying Rouge that judge it just perfectly with the Vikings in tow. They may have the highest speed, but the wind is going to go the way of the Bonds Flying Rouge in race number 3. Tom Slingsby and the Australians take it in Sassnitz.
It's tight back in the pack behind them here. We can see North Star and the United States. North Star have got to keep clear at the moment. United States on the inside. Now they've got to give them room, but Taylor Canfield's got it done. In the pack, look at the black foils, 11th. Great Britain 10th. This opens the weekend wide up here at the moment. People are hemorrhaging points very, very quickly.
What a difference one leg can make as the Australians burst their way up and take the win.
Oh, the black foils spin inside here, and they're right inside the Swiss, but I think it's going to be black foils 10th, Emirates Great Britain all the way back in 11th. Wow, the points are going to rack up massively after this race.
A big shake-up across the leaderboard as Emirates GBR looked to be in a top 6 position, Stevie, as they were coming upwind here on leg 5 of 6, and then they just dropped like a rock back to 11.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I don't want to make Andy sound too good, but he did, as soon as you get out of shape and you're not able to do your plan, it's very quickly to lose a lot of distance here. We can see the black foils really slow across the line there. Not sure what's happened with them. I think they just stayed ahead of the British, but, oh, it was a slow moment. Yeah, you get out of phase and you lose distance real fast.
And now it all comes down to this, the 4th and final race. Remember, there's 3 more races tomorrow before the event final, so there's still points to gather. But, Stevie, we've seen this before. If you can get the momentum after day number 1 and roll that into day number 2, you do yourself a solid.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much pressure on the, a little mistake can cost you so many points so quickly. And we just see this course in front of us here. You've got the dark patch to the right, very gusty in here, but there's less wind in the start box. So as they say, tricky to judge the timing into the line here.
1 minute to go before the start of the fourth and final race here on day number 1 in Sassnitz. Remember, it's the 18-meter wing. We haven't had that for a while, Hannah. Plus, we also got the T-foils, and we've got a lot of wind, so a lot at play.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect configuration on a perfect sailing day here in Sassnitz. And they're all lining up for the last start of the day, taking what they've learned from the races before.
Crucial here. New Zealand have found an awful lot of speed. I'll be quite interested to know how the grinders are feeling right now. Fitness is going to really become a huge part of this race. And the black foils have got a lot of space. Bottom of our screen, upwind end of the start line here. They're going to have a very, very fast angle to Mark 1 if they can judge the start. The whole fleet's lined up well away. Burling's going to try a slingshot special here. Favoured positions, middle of the line. Rolex pole predictor sits on board the French at the moment. But here we go. New Zealand winded up top of the line. We're looking for that line to turn white. 5 seconds to go. Australia well positioned. Here come the black foils up and foiling, but they look a little late. It's go time at the start. Black foils are fast, but on the inside it's Australia. Oh my word, the black foils have found space, found speed. Watch them go.
Ooh, look at this.
We're going to be pushing for another record at Mark 1 again here, Todd. The black foils have got a fast angle. Burling has judged it, pulled a rabbit from a hat, and they're going to be lit up round Mark number 1. Lots of breeze, good angle, big lead for the black foils.
Watch the numbers continue to climb at mark number 1. Just under triple digits.
Oh, Burling went for the race win there. He kept himself deep in the gust. He didn't push the speed too hard, but it's the black foils, the Rouges, and the French that lead away here at mark number 1. Great Britain were way out the back at the start of this race, so that's huge. Look at them, 11th position. United States, they've had a perfect, really good day until now, but they're in the pack, so tricky. Canada move away, but the black foils from here are well set, Hannah, and they're going to have an easy run into gate 2, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. And it looks generally quite light on the course at the moment. You can see they're not quite paralleling those, crossing those ladder lines quite as much as they were in that first race. So maybe a few more tactical decisions on this first leg down to gate 2.
Let's go down on the water. Lisa Darman, and how have the conditions changed, and what will we have for the next 15 minutes?
Appreciate 10 after the mark.
Maybe Lisa's a little busy out here. It looks like they're going to keep it pretty simple on board New Zealand at the DP World Gate 2 there. They're going to take the left turn. It will be Canada that will be the first to split away towards the right. But I think there's good breeze where the black foils are heading here. This looks like a pretty sensible manoeuvre by Burling and co here. And he's followed by the next 3, and it's Germany. Well, they need a good last race here for the home fans, and they're giving them it right now.
Germany, Deutsche Bank, Eric Kosegarten Heil, the winner of race number 1 in their second season, looking to get yet another victory here on home waters.
I think they'd be happy with the top 3 here. Consistency is going to be key. As you can see, 11th place still for Emirates, Great Britain. Rottwell, Denmark as well. That consistency that Sir Hested wanted, not happening right now, but there are opportunities on this course. And the middle of the course now, there's a lot of breeze, but the black foils, they manoeuvre in a big gust at the top of our screen.
Let's go down on the water, Lisa Darman, and what can we expect over the next 10 to 15 minutes with the conditions?
Todd, it's going to stay tricky out here, as Hannah was saying. The wind has died down a bit, but the gusts are still really strong. So I think the course is going to be a little bit different this one, but as we've seen, you kind of need to play the wind you're in at the time, and because it's so patchy, you can be in completely different wind to someone that's just 100 meters away from you.
Yeah, good point there. Right now we're on leg 3 of 6, the 4th and final race of today. Before tomorrow we have 3 more fleet races and then the event final, which is only the top 3 teams. The problem now, Hannah, if you're in the middle of the pack, say Canada, North Star, Los Gallos, Swiss, there's spots, as Lisa pointed out, to make changes, to make moves up there. But look who's at the front of the pack. You've got the Black Foils, you got the Bonds Flying Rouge, you got the French who love the breeze. They are tough teams to get around.
Yeah, and I think the good thing on this course is there's plenty of width to it. So there is a lot of space where you can get clear air, but you've got to be joining those patches of breeze together. You can see the speeds upwind. They vary from the high 40 kilometers an hour up to the high 60s, depending on what mode teams are in. So if you're down in that slower speed, there's no way that you're catching up the front boats. You can just pick those patches and put them together.
tricks to be patient and try and just keep making the next right move that you can do and hope people around you maybe make a mistake. The French have found good breeze, and you can just see it is light in the middle there, but Canada, they've got themselves sailing back towards more breeze, and that's the main thing that you can do. It's always that question, do I find more wind where I can go faster or a better angle where I can minimize the distance? Right now, it kind of looks like these leading boats are doing both at the same time.
Nice battle there between the Black Foils of New Zealand, the Bonds Flying Roos of Australia. Somewhere Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are cheering on the green and gold.
Yeah, and we heard Liv Mackay saying the Aussies will go left, so they're planning what the other team are going to do. Interesting that they choose to split. They clearly think they're sailing into wind, but expect an early manoeuvre from the Black Foils to try and match where the Australians go on the race course.
Runners coming down, 2, 1.
Definitely lighter out there, Hannah, isn't it?
It's a bit light.
Yeah, and you know, these 18-meter wings, they're designed for that top-end conditions, and they're perfect for today, but they're really tricky to sail down the range, and you can see that just Bonds Flying Roos really struggling to keep that hull flying out of the mark there.
Yeah, and look at the Kiwis, the Black Foils, middle of our screen. They're barely progressing down the course, and someone who is progressing down the course, Canada, he's found a massive gust of wind on board Canada and the German team. It's getting really gusty. You've got to be able to move. Oh, no! Big incident here. The United States, they've lost the bow of the boat. We've not seen what happened on the race course here. Huge moment. Safety crew are going to have to get alongside and make sure things are okay there. We're going to sure get some footage of what happened soon on the racetrack with that one, but that's disaster for the United States after such a good first day so far. And we can see back on the racetrack now, it's the Kiwis right on the boundary. Look like they're pushing things wide, but they had lost to the Australians at the moment, and a boundary penalty. They've got to lose 20 more meters there for the Black Foils. That's an uncharacteristic mistake. First two are gone, but look at the battle in the pack. It's all on as we can see jettison parts of the US team floating there. They'll be collected by our safety crews for sure in the next few moments, but it's a battle royale. The two big favourites in SailGP, toe-to-toe. Right of way will be with the Bonds Flying Roos, and will they split at the bottom of the course?
A close moment with the French and the Canadians just there on this left-hand boundary as they're coming down. The conditions are so tricky with such a difference in pace. When the breeze is up, it's really full-on conditions, but then at the top of the course, when there's so much less wind, it's really tricky to change between those two modes on board and keep your tempo calm.
This is definitely the battle of the Titans right now, and look at that. The Black Foils able to lay it right in. The Bonds Flying Roos have to make one extra maneuver. It's Pete Burling. He'll opt for the left-hand side. It'll be interesting to see what Slingsby does. He's going to split the course.
He is, and they've got a big enough distance over the boats behind that maybe he can afford to roll the dice, but it looks like Burling's sailing towards better wind at the moment, so I think the Black Foils have made the right call there. Roll of the dice by Australia, but he should still be relatively safe. There's a lot of breeze at the bottom of that race course. Black Foils, look at that, they change angle dramatically. They're going to manoeuvre and be shortening their course up the racetrack there.
Lisa Darmanin, who made the right choice here in your perspective from New Zealand and Australia, and with the American boat stuck in the middle of the course?
Oh, it is so hard to call it out here, but I actually think New Zealand's going to struggle to get across here. But just on the USA, so the Emirates GBR are also stopped in the water, and I can see a red thing and a blue thing that's being salvaged from our salvage team at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be, they've got to avoid it, but yeah, it's so shifty and gusty out here. It's real tough.
So the penultimate leg of race number 4, the racing goes on, and a salvage operation underway with Emirates GBR and US SailGP. There you see the damage on the front left side of their boat. That piece is going to be retrieved, and then they'll get towed in. Meanwhile, a race for some big points, Stevie. We could have our 4th different winner in 4 races.
Yeah, we could, but let's look back. I think we've got some replays of what happened in that race earlier on the incident here. We can see Port Tack, United States. They've got to keep clear here of Emirates, Great Britain. They see them too late. Oh, that's catastrophic. They had to keep clear there. There's no one on the bottom side of the boat looking for that incident. Oh, that's unbelievable. They've just taken, I think the British boat's going to be seriously damaged in that, but British with right of way.
They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. Head up.
Oh my Lord.
Hannah Mills called it.
Oh, well, that's the trouble. You've got sets of eyes on the boat so people can look. There was no one on the leeward side of that United States boat looking. If you've not got the right of way, you've got to be looking where you're going. Oh, that's a shocker. And that's just not acceptable, I'm afraid, Todd. Back to the race. Black foils, well positioned here. It's tight at the top. Australia will have the right of way, but potentially can the black foils get there with no more manoeuvres? It's going to be marginal at the moment.
They're going to be comfortably ahead. Who's next boat?
Slingsby's done the commentary for us there. Looks like the black foils are going to have this one in the bag from here, but anything can happen. The wind is very, very shifty.
Stand by here, please.
You can see how much lighter the wind is just by the angle change that the Bonds Flying Roos have to go through in that tack there.
Yeah, that is just experience right there. Tom Slingsby didn't want to say it, but he knew it, and he's already looking to see who would be a threat for the second position. But it is the black foils who spin it around. 4 races, 4 different winners, and the final race on Saturday will go the way of the black foils. Peter Burling and company take the win in Sassnitz. So with the Emirates winning moment going to the black foils, now the battle is on for the points behind, and it will be the Bonds Flying Roos taking second. And look at this, the battle is on for the 3rd spot, and it looks like Quentin Delapierre not happy with 4th.
Charging, but he's got to give room for Canada to get inside that mark, so Canada will hang on. Essential, the black foils got a result in that race, and what did they get? They got a bullet. Massive performance by them. Oh, and it's just catastrophic for the United States, so they've had such a good day out there. Spain come across in 5th. They're struggling. They've got a lot of reset to do overnight tonight.
Solid day, though, for the home team, Germany Deutsche Bank, as Eric Coastgarten Heil, after a win in race number 1, they'll get a 6th in the 4th and final race. And the Speed Merchants, full Viking, they will hold on for 7th place. Rockwell, Denmark, and Nikolai Seilstedt, they get a strong performance to wrap up the day. The Swiss will come in 8th. What a day of racing, and a lot still to unpack here on the Baltic. So Stevie, the Swiss coming in after a great performance at the last event in the UK. And Red Bull Italy, they've been up and down a little bit. They will finish with a 9th place as they tickle 90 kilometers an hour as they bring it to the finish line. I got it once again, tip of the cap to the shore crews for Emirates GBR, Stevie. They went to work and they got the boat ready, and it is out on the water, ready to sail.
Well, and even more, it looks miraculous, doesn't it? It looks perfectly new. I mean, that shore crew's incredible. Hannah will be able to tell us more than myself, but the tech team and the team GBR, team as well. It's been an amazing effort.
Hannah, that is your former team, and here they are back on the water. Yesterday when that incident happened, do you think there was any chance they'd be racing today?
Well, certainly they had to wait to crane the boat out to see the extent of the damage, but, an amazing effort from everyone involved in getting the boat back on the water, and I think, they're just going to be getting back into their routines for today, trying to put yesterday behind them and see what they can do today.
So 12 becomes 10 here on Super Sunday at the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz. The USA and Brazil will have to sit this one out on the injured reserve list. Everyone's okay, the boats though, not so much. So here we go, 1 minute to go before we kick things off here in Germany. As they make their way into a very small start box, Stevie, this is a little bit different than yesterday, so tight quarters.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tricky racetrack, and I think if anyone at home's ever played Super Mario Kart, this is going to be Super Mario Kart, but with Mother Nature deciding who gets the rockets and who gets the banana skins. So there's a lot of action going to happen out here. This race will not be over till it's over. Judging the start's going to be really difficult. You could have 800 horsepower or you could have 300 horsepower when it comes, depending on the wind. Right now it's light in the box. Those boats out the back could be struggling. Yeah, look for New Zealand to cut the corner here. It's really light. Boats are going to be slow. New Zealand, Burling cuts the corner. The Aussies, the Roos, they're struggling at the bottom of the line. Pole predictors with the Germans. They've managed to get on a hull. Who can get these boats flying? 15 seconds to go. Emirates, Great Britain and France are trying to thread the needle. Delapierre might save this one at the bottom of the line. I like where Delapierre is right now. Rolex pole predictor still on board North Star. Look for the line to turn. White. Brilliant by the French, and they're foiling. They're going to be gone at Mark 1 at the moment. Can any of the other boats get up and going and chase them down? North Star are foiling. Top of the Tyne, Italy are foiling as well, as are the Swiss. It's going to be a big, big drag race for the French here.
And as they approach mark number 1 here in the first race on Super Sunday, as a wise man once said, how's your timing, Quentin Delapierre?
Absolutely smashed that timing, threaded the needle there, and it's now all about finding the wind here. Expect to see Manon at the back of the boat, head on a swivel, not just looking for the other boats there. Dark patch, left side of screen. That's going to be really fueling up the boats behind, but we can see New Zealand still stuck off the foils, top of our screen. The black foils are miles behind, but don't expect that to be the last we see of them in this race.
super tricky just to even get around that mark. The air's going to be really disturbed around the course. So if you can get ahead, just like the French have done here, it's going to be so much easier sailing for now.
Look at the angle as well, Hannah. Look at the angle they're sailing.
Straight down the course. They've got a really nice shift angle there, but it's going to be quite hard to pull off this maneuver to turn the boat and head back towards the line. So they're going to have to be really accurate with their maneuvers.
So this is like 2 of 6, race number 5. We've got 2 more races with the entire fleet after this, and then the event final. Only the top 3 teams will racing. It is France out in front. North Star sits in second. Emirates GBR on the repaired boat sits in third, and Rockwell Denmark, the speed merchants from yesterday, in fourth.
Really crucial here that you try and pick the course where you think you can stay in wind. You can see the French there have actually turned away from the wind. I'm slightly decided by that decision. A little bit of a random decision for me, that. I think straight on for the left turn for Canada is good. They're off the foils here. Could be a mistake by the French. That's going to bring them back into the pack. Canada also decide to take that. There is maybe big wind where Rockwell Denmark are, so they're trying to head back that way.
As they try to get around the DP World Gate here on leg number 2, we check in back on the water with Lisa Darman. And Lisa, any idea why the French and the Canadians would opt for that as a tight Rockwell Denmark drops inside?
Well, that's where all the wind is, Todd. So in the training, everyone was over there. There's this big gust of wind over there. So I think everybody's prioritizing that side. Now, once you get to that breeze where all those spectator boats are, that's great. But then how do you navigate the next half of the course? That's a real challenge.
So to Lisa's point, you see Rockwell Denmark, Stevie, having no problem keeping their speed up. They make the turn. They're now in first place. And Emirates GBR on the other side of the course.
Yeah, and Emirates GBR have actually stayed in breeze there. I think they could be in good shape here. They're going to really move up these ladder lines quite quickly. You can just hear the conversation there. It's a little bit heightened, but I think that's because it's such a fast-changing dynamic on the racecourse.
Yeah, I think it's one of those days today where if you can sail the boat without concentrating too much on what you're doing, you've got the capacity to look around, join up those patches of pressure. The Brits have done a really nice job to stay in some pressure there, but they're just slowing down now as they come into some lighter winds.
We've got the small foils on as well, Todd, remember that. So the boat's got the potential to go really fast, but when the wind drops down, all priority's got to go on staying on the foils.
And what a story this would be if Emirates GBR could somehow come back after that collision yesterday at the end of day number 1 and find themselves in a position to battle to hoist the wheel at the end of the day here in Sassnitz.
You see here in the picture, you see to the left of the screen, it's really dark. To the right of the screen, lighter colour. They're talking about a high mode. They're trying to sail the boat as close to the wind as they can to desperately cling to that more wind, cling to that more horsepower. Here we go. Rockwell Denmark, they decide to turn back, but they're in really light winds here. So there's a lot more manoeuvres going to happen on the race course today as the boats try and find that extra wind to get the extra speed.
Hannah, we hear the term glamour racing being thrown around a lot, but you look at Emirates GBR, this has got to be a glamour situation for them. No boat within 150 meters of them. They have the whole course basically to themselves.
Yeah, and I think on a lot of days that would give you a lot of confidence, but actually on a day like today, that lead can go in seconds. You can see at the moment they're just paralleling those ladder lines. They're not barely making any progress up the course, whereas the boats at the bottom of the screen here are in really good pressure, so we expect to see them make a gain out of this.
Yeah, you can see New Zealand, the black foils, right-hand side of the screen, they were miles behind. Burling is so good in these shifty conditions. He's going to probably be top 3 by this top gate potentially here. He's got themselves in good breeze. Rockwell Denmark are back in wind, but you can see them really zigging up this shoreline. That was what Lisa was telling us. This side of the course has, on average, got more wind. And again, in racing on a day like today, it's all about averages. They would die to have our helicopter view of the race course to be able to see what's coming.
So the umpire, Craig Mitchell, the chief umpire, issuing North Star Canada with a penalty as they sailed outside the boundary, just searching for some wind and some pressure. And Stevie, just as you called it, Emirates GBR, look at them. They are at 22 knots, kilometers an hour right now. And here comes Rockwell Denmark and the Swiss.
Yeah, and they're on the inside. Rockwell Denmark going to do a handbrake turn here, 180. GBR are going to try and go back that way, but they're struggling rules-wise. All the boats are going to be able to come inside them here. So Rockwell Denmark are going to look to pop straight back on the foils if they can. Could be the last the fleet sees of them. No, they're not. They're not on the foils. They're struggling, and it's Slingsby's going to split the course. I think there could be breeze that way. You've got to trust Slingsby's seen something.
It really depends on what stage you go round these gate marks. That really influences your gate choice here. So the Australians, Bonds Flying Rouge, they had that option to turn right there, but the Brits really didn't have that option.
Well, I gave Burling the kiss of death, didn't I, there? Look, he's fallen off the foils. The black foils are 9th and not moving really at the moment. But as we've seen, a lot to be done here. Australia and Canada in good state. and they're foiling. They're going to go down a lovely patch of wind, Hannah.
Okay, and board in 2. 1 board. And turning. I got Italy.
Really nice work on that manoeuvre there, making sure they're in pressure to pull it off.
What I just think we've got to remember as well, it's all about getting to that top 3 today. That's all that matters. We're accumulating points in that race to the final. Australia, well, they were well ahead, weren't they, after racing yesterday. And here we go, race to the final points. Left-hand side, bottom left side of screen there. Australia, Denmark, and Great Britain, but Germany as well. The hometown heroes, it's all on here, and we've got a lot more racing to go today. Even in this race, this is far from over.
10 points to the winner of each race, all the way down to 1 point for 10th place. So you can do the math with 3 races, 30 points up for grabs. All Tom Slingsby and the Flying Roos need to do, Stevie, is just keep themselves consistently in the top 6 or 7, and they are golden.
If only that was easy, Todd. This is not a day where that is an easy task, but they're doing a nice job right now, and you can hear it's changing a lot on the racecourse all the time.
Here come the Bonds Flying Roos on the outside. They'll make the left-hand turn, and it is Rockwell, Denmark just on their side.
Denmark. They've got to keep clear of Denmark, Todd. They can't turn until Rockwell turn. There you go, aggressive from Sassnitz, really pushing Australia wide there. Good tactical racing by Nikolai. Might well be a 180 coming back for the Rockwell Denmark team again here. No, straight, he's going straight, but Slingsby's going to turn. Slingsby splits, and there is wind where Slingsby's headed.
Turning up here. Slowly rolling up.
I think this is a good call by the Bonds Flying Roos right now. This could be an overtake.
Nice pressure in 2. Barn gust on here, buddy.
Really calm comms on board the Bonds Flying Roos. Tom Slingsby talking with Tosh Bryant, the strategist on the back of the boat.
Stand by here.
You can see here Australia are doing nearly 60 kilometres an hour, and Rockwell, Denmark are off the foils 24. Maybe I have still got it, Todd.
I think something that's really hard today is just keeping everything cool, calm and collected. Things are changing so quickly. The boat's pretty hard to sail, and it's going to be about forgetting the bad decisions you make and really trying to learn from the good ones you make.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, popping here.
Oh, big relief for Rockwell fans there. If Rockwell can get back up on the foils, and Australia are now getting slow. So Rockwell could well be in good shape again now.
Gives us a good opportunity to go down on the water. Lisa Darmanin, has anything changed? We're going to check back with you for these updates. But who do you like, and what position do you like best on the course right now?
Well, Todd, yes, everything's changing. Everything's changing every 5 seconds. I mean, Australia was looking really good, and now Denmark's back in the game. I think the key today is kind of being really dynamic. You want to be able to move your boat around. You want to be able to stay on the foils when you do those maneuvers, because you've got to do, like, you've got to turn, you've got to tack, you've got to drive maneuver before you run out of pressure, and it's so challenging out here. Emirates Great Britain could be back in this, though.
Yeah, look at this. Emirates Great Britain up to 3rd, and Rockwell Denmark now takes over the top position as the Bonds Flying Roos turn just below them. North Star Canada also in the mix. So really the same 4 teams, Stevie and Hannah, that we started with. They're back in it as well, and some voices getting elevated on board.
Yeah, right of way, Emirates Great Britain here. Australia and Rockwell Denmark must keep clear. They're both off the foils anyway. Australia is struggling to get back on. Emirates GBR, this is the final manoeuvre here. If they can get past that yellow line, all the way past the ley line, we know there's more wind where Emirates Great Britain are heading on average, so this could be good shape for the British fans.
So just before the boundary, Emirates GBR make the turn, and now the race is on. There you see Red Bull Italy in 10th place. They're going to get lapped almost in this situation, where they are still heading downwind.
Hey, we're crossing, no issue at the moment. Agreed, staying high here.
Did a really nice job there just to choose to go H1 out of that manoeuvre. So they're choosing to put that leeward hull in the water and take a higher mode, sailing closer to the wind and closer to that mark.
Yeah, control the controllable sail a bit less distance if you can.
We're going to go straight back here. Building roll up, big roll up.
Just see when the wind drops off, there's so little you can do. It's just a bit out of your control. But Rockwell Denmark, look, they're up and foiling in the background, but they're sailing across the ladder lines. Top left-hand side of our screens where they're aiming for here. Doesn't look like Emirates Great Britain will get there, so it's going to suddenly be change of situation again. Bonds Flying Roos have the right of way. GBR need to be confident of being ahead.
Hey, no issues. Denmark tack. Hey. Hey, H1. No.
Those angles change so quickly in these conditions.
So Hannah Mills jump over to the other side of the boat to keep an eye on Denmark and the Bons Flying Rouge. And here we go. This is the moment in the race. It's a right-hand turn. There you see the finish line.
Yeah. So can Australia stay foiling? If Australia stay foiling here, or Rockwool Denmark, they could roll right round Emirates GBR very easily here, but it could also turn into a parking lot. Emirates GBR not foiling. Rockwool Denmark commit to the left-hand side. Got to keep clear of the British boat here. All off the foils. Should be good news for Emirates GBR, but there's going to be a park up here. Fletcher will be very, very aggressive.
And a complete roadblock for the Bons Flying Rouge. Nowhere for them to go. If they opt for the left side, they're going to lose distance. So now the race is on. It's a slow drag race to the finish line in race number 5 on Super Sunday. And the boat that was down and out yesterday is now in the winner's circle, winning race number 5. It's Emirates GBR that takes the win.
That was pretty full on there, as we can see in the background here. Germany, Switzerland, and the black foils way out the back. There's going to be an awful lot to be done later on here to try and catch back up.
So the top 3 is Emirates GBR, Rockwool Denmark, and the Bons Flying Rouge. That's your top 3 in race number 5.
Going around Canada here.
So now the team's going to do a quick debrief as the rest of the fleet comes in. That'll be the Swiss that'll finish in 8th place. Disappointing for the black foils, Stevie. They drop back to 9th place.
I mean, I think it's just, yeah, as soon as you're in the pack, you start to not be in all that much control of your decisions overall, really. And I think, you know, Burling's normally very good in these conditions. He'd normally really back himself. But if you are back in the pack, perhaps you don't get that first pick. So, yeah, pressure well and truly on the black foils if they want to make the final. But don't get it wrong, this is so tight. And we've seen that 3, 4, 5 points can just change in the blink of an eye.
But there is the event leaderboard with Australia, France, Germany, Great Britain, Denmark, and Spain. Really, Stevie, with Germany in the running still.
I think you could take anyone, yeah. Probably Canada might think they've got a half chance, but certainly 7th to 2nd, you could throw a blanket over, and it's going to come down to who can find the breeze and stay patient and calm in their boat around this racecourse.
So with these conditions, Hannah Diamond, where do you want to be on this start, and what did you learn from race number 5, the race prior?
Well, I think that's a tougher question than normal, Todd, to be honest, because it really depends where the pressure is. We saw the French come off the bottom of the line well. I think it's a risk to be up high, to be honest.
Stevie, the question I would say now is do you be reactionary, find out where everyone's going, and then, as Hannah said, look for a hole and then just try to thread the needle, or is that just too risky?
No, there's just not too light a breeze here. It's too light and too changeable. You've got to put yourself in the front thing. Try and have a plan, control it. Emirates GBR, right-hand side of screen. They're up and foiling. They're going fast, but I don't know if he's going to be able to burn off enough time. De La Pierre, once again, out the back in the middle of the situation there. The Rolex pole predictor sits on the Danes. They have got a gap, but it's all about the pop into the start. Emirates Great Britain, how's your timing, Dylan Fletcher? Oh, they've nailed it. They're foiling, they're fast, and they're perfect at the start line here. They are going to be gone at Mark 1.
Probably going to come back left to Mark. Copy. Coming up a bit.
You've seen it's not all about the start, Todd, but once again, the black foils are way out the back, as are France and Spain, and it's the Bons Flying Rouge and Emirates Great Britain again that are in the mix at Mark 1.
At mark number 1, it is once again Emirates GBR looking good as they've got all the momentum fresh off the win in race number 5. The Bons Flying Rouge slot into 2nd place, and Germany Deutsche Bank sit in 3rd.
And this is huge. I think the toughest job of the day is going to actually be for the Oracle Clouds, keeping us up to speed on who's doing what in the race to the final. But we can be pretty sure that for Emirates Great Britain and the Bons Flying Rouge, things look pretty good right now. And for home fans, could this be Germany's first ever final?
Going.
Emirates GBR the first to turn away, Bons Flying Rouge behind them, then it's Germany Deutsche Bank, North Star Canada. They're in the top 4 position right now, and Red Bull Italy round out the top 5. Good time to check in on the water. What everyone wants to know is, Lisa Darmanin, where is the wind?
Well, the wind is different for everybody depending on the timing of the course. So with the wind, obviously it comes over the land, it's different, and it moves its way down away from the land. So when the teams are about to turn up, they're sort of looking up the course. So for me right now, I still think that left-hand side where all those spectator boats are is the most consistent breeze, but there's definitely opportunity where Emirates Great Britain are going right now.
Yeah, at the moment we can see the Bonds Flying Rouge split. They took for the right turn at the DP World Gate, but I like where Emirates GBR are going. You can see there's that small dark patch of water. I expect they're going to manoeuvre in that. If you manoeuvre in pressure, that's kind of a key. Manoeuvre when you're fast and manoeuvre when you've got plenty of wind to hope to stay on the foils. As we see the rest of the fleet coming in, this fight to the final is going to be really, really tight. As we can see, Rockwell Denmark 7th, Black Foils 8th, French in 10th. There's going to be a big, big battle. Here we go. This scoreboard is going to be all over the place through this race, trying to keep up with who's making the finals. Italy and Spain are off the foils right now.
And the further back in the pack you are, the harder it is to keep the boat on the foils. So just, I think we heard Ian Jensen say earlier, let's make hay while the sun shines. If you're in pressure, it's much easier.
Yeah, and look at that. That's, on average, it's good to come where the Bonds Flying Rouge are, but at the moment they've made a big, big loss to Germany and to Great Britain. Germany are in a lovely bit of wind at the moment and going nearly straight up those ladder lines, so they've got a good angle and good pressure. Although, as I say that, the wind direction changes a little bit. Still fast on board Germany, but losing a bit of distance.
Big lefty, top of course.
The lefty, so what does that mean? That means the wind's going to swing to the left, which should favour Emirates Great Britain. It looks like the lefties on Australia right now, they're going round them like a little candy wrapper underneath there, wrapping round the British. Can the British get into the same wind as Australia? Just shows you can be 10 metres apart and in nearly a totally different breeze here. Absolute beautiful moment for the Bonds Flying Rouge.
Halfway through leg 3, Australia was sitting in 4th, maybe 5th place, and here they are now in 1st place as they make the right-hand turn, and it looks like Emirates GBR will join them on that right side as they make their way back down the course.
Okay, here we go. We heard Bonds Flying Rouge saying we're going to do a Chicago. So that's one of their set play moves, which is basically a handbrake turn on that mark. And it looks to me like Emirates GBR, whatever they call it in their playbook, they've done exactly the same manoeuvre, but they've done it better, and they're straight back into wind. So potentially Emirates GBR is going to made us to get back on the foils first. Germans, they're going to look to take a left turn, come back into the wind. Bottom of the screen's where the wind is, and that's where the Germans are heading right now.
Bonds Flying Rouge have lost all their wind now as they have dropped from 1st back to 4th. And there you see Emirates GBR, their speed right around 70 kilometers an hour.
Yeah. It's just so hard to read the breeze. You're trying to make best guesses all the time, and I think that's what Dylan meant by acceptance. You've got to make a decision. If you're indecisive on a day like today, that's worse than anything. Make a decision and then reassess, make the next one. Race to the final, Hannah. How's it looking?
Yeah, so at the moment, the boats at the front of the fleet in this race are the ones who'll be making the finals. So we've got Australia 49, Great Britain on 40, Germany 35. That is as it stands currently, but there's plenty more racing to go.
Plenty of drama to unfold in that storyline in and of itself. You've got Emirates GBR with a damaged boat last night. They're back up and sailing. The Bonds Flying Rouge missing out on the final last time because of a controversial penalty. They are possibly in the final. And Stevie, to your point, Germany making their event final for the first time on home waters.
Well, it'd be amazing if they could make that happen in front of Home's fan, wouldn't it? We've got another split here, and the two boats are choosing different ways. There's definitely wind where the Bonds Flying Rouge are headed here, so I'm a little surprised that Emirates GBR have taken that, but they'll be able to see more than we can for sure. I think this result right now would mean the Bonds Flying Rouge are definitely in the final, even with a race to spare. That's how well they've sailed this weekend. But yes, for Germans, well, I guess they'll be able to stay in the moment now, but the pressure's about to come on. Can they keep things together? Can they stay as smooth as they've been? Black foils are back in the race as well there, Todd. We can see here, oh, this is interesting. Have a look at the wind across the course. They are very well separated, but at the moment, not much difference in wind. A little bit more wind on Great Britain, so should be a potentially good news for the British, but it looks like the Australians are the ones that have gained so far.
Tight crossings here in the center of the course with Emirates GBR dipping behind the French. Here comes the Australia, the Bonds Flying Rouge, and there you have Red Bull Italy crossing as well.
Potentially two more manoeuvres for the British here. I guess they're going to just try and find a good bit of... Here we go, they set up. They're going to try and do one more.
Talking about high mode on board the Australian boat.
Yeah, that means you're sailing as close to the wind as you can. They're saying, OK, we're not sure there's going to be too much wind. Let's minimise the distance.
Let's see how we look.
Right, Emirates Great Britain right of way. Bonds Flying Rouge must keep clear, and they'll also want to try and stay on a lane. Oh, Emirates GBR cut the corner here. They must be very confident of making the breeze, making the next mark, sorry.
Looked like quite a quick decision to make that tack there, but they've executed it really nicely to put themselves in a commanding position in front.
So here we go, leg 5 of 6 in race at number 6, and the race is on as they approach the final gate. It is a drag race to the Emirates finish line. It is Emirates GBR in the lead, and here come the Bonds Flying Roos.
That's a straight shot to the finish. They're on fire.
Back-to-back wins for Emirates GBR as they cross the line and win race number 6 on a newly repaired boat.
That was tight. It's going to all still be happening in the pack. Very nice work indeed. But Bonds Flying Roos, well, that's great news for them. Germany, they've been very aggressive with the Canadians there, holding them off the course. But this could be a good move here for the German team. They look pretty secure in third. They just need to get foiling. Here it comes, here it comes. They're foiling there. Look at that, beautiful.
Nice work, Anna. Where's the finish? Nice straight.
See how hard it is out there. So hard when it's changing as much to keep your orientation even on this race course, moving around the course so quickly.
So Germany will bring it back, and in front of the fans, they are on their feet as the hometown team, Germany Deutsche Bank, will finish in third, and that will help their cause with one more race to go to see if they can make it into the event final. Top 3, Emirates GBR, Australia, and Germany with one race left.
Can't wait to get up into that Oracle cloud and see the race to the final right now, Todd, because the Kiwis are back to a 5th. That's where the Blackfoils have got up to. Rockwool, Denmark 6th, Spain 7th. There's still going to be barely any points in it for that 3rd place in the final. I think right now Australia should have already booked their ticket, and Emirates Great Britain must be looking pretty strong.
Rockwell, Denmark, they'll check in with 6. Disappointing finish again for last year's season champions, Los Gallos, as they finish in 7th. And the French, Stevie, man, after that great start to start today, they have just not been themselves.
Yeah, you just get a little out of shape. I say one bad maneuver can suddenly throw you off, and if you don't do a good job of resetting, it can really affect the rest of your race. I mean, you know, their coach will no doubt be listening in on all the comms, trying to work out where things are going well and not quite going well. But the simple fact is, if you're in the lead, you get to make the decision and you get to choose your own destiny.
So the Italians will limp their way home. They will finish in 9th place, just ahead of the Swiss, who will finish in 10th. And that means race 6 has come to a conclusion, with the rest of the fleet now already talking about the final race of the day, race number 7. They're going to roll the dice and take chances.
Yeah, that's right. It's not going to be a comfortable position for many of the sailors on the boats who are in contention for the final, because anyone from Rockwool, Denmark, Blackfoils, French, or Germans could take that final spot.
Look at those numbers, Stevie. I'm sure everyone's been crunching those. They've got the coaches on shore in the coaches box, but the bottom line is you have to execute the start and you have to do your maneuvers clean.
I think the one thing is it's so wacky, the racing. You've just got to sail your own boat as well as you can. Try and stay fast, try and stay in breeze, and see what plays out.
1 minute away for the 7th and final fleet race. Then we will cut it down to only the top 3 point getters, and they will race off for a winner-take-all championship here in Sassnitz. We will check in with Lisa Darman in a moment just to get the conditions report and what we should expect over the next 15 minutes or so. But Stevie, let's turn our attention now to the big dance before the start as that line goes white in 38 seconds.
Yeah, well, Germany and New Blackfoils very tight together towards the bottom of our screen. Emirates Great Britain there look like they've done a nice manoeuvre and potentially going to get up and foiling as well. Who's judged the positioning well? Not sure. It looks light at the gun. There is a gust coming at the top of the line, which I think could be good news for the Bonds Flying Roos, but can they time it right? All the boats are struggling to get towards this line and stay on the foils. It's going to be Australia and potentially Spain and Switzerland with a run-up that could be foiling. Look out at the top of the screen for the Bonds Flying Roos, looking for the line to turn white. It's going to be a blanket start, but the French have got it right again. France, brilliant start. Germany, brilliant start out the middle of the line. They're foiling the Germans with the pressure well and truly on their shoulders, have nailed that. They should be able to drive over the top of Emirates Great Britain with a faster angle here, and the Germans, under the pressure of their feeling, could be in the first 2 at Mark 1.
And here we go at mark number 1 at the final fleet race here in Sassnitz. The French need the points, as do the Germans. And there you see Emirates GBR putting their nose into the mix as well.
Everyone needs the points here, Todd. It's right of way with the Germans at the moment. We're on board France. Manon looks to go and set up. She's got to watch out for that German boat. Germany still has the right of way. France have to wait for the Germans to move until they get towards the bound. Oh, lovely bit of breeze there for the French, Hannah.
Yeah, I actually think it makes it a little bit easier for Deutsche Bank Germany as well, because they can just fall in line, and then now both boats have got options and it's down to strategy.
So Australia is already confirmed into that event final. We're looking for 2 more boats. The top 3 point getters will race off and find out who takes the overall, as France takes a very aggressive line there. There you see Germany, Deutsche Bank, and it really comes down to these 2 teams, Hannah, of who's going to be that possibly that 3rd and final boat that makes the final.
Yeah, really tricky conditions to have to race another boat, but be mindful of the fleet. We've got Rockwool Denmark coming down with speed.
Germany are going to maybe try and make space here to turn right, are they? No, they're going to follow around. I think what we've got to remember here is it's so tight coming into the DP World Gate. Oh, brilliant by the Germans. That was superb. Seb Vettel would have loved that. Wide in, tight out. Nailed the apex there on the German boat. He looked like being on the outside, but he's done a great job. Here we go. Early manoeuvre by Germany. Early manoeuvre by Rockwool Denmark. And the Bonds Flying Rouge, bottom of our screen. Well, Slingsby tends to be a bit of a wind whisperer out here today. Race to the final. Ooh. Currently, France and Germany tied. If you're tied, it's whoever's ahead of whoever in the last race. But the Germans look like they're on the move to me.
They've done a really nice job getting out of that. It could have been really tricky, but they've got a tough lane with Rockwool Denmark, looking a little bit faster just to windward of them.
Well, they do, but the crucial baton at the moment is Germany-France, because it's whoever beats whoever in this race will get to the final. But there's plenty to go. Denmark need a couple of places gained, and they'll be right back in it. All to play for here.
And the $1 million question is, where is the sweet spot on the course? For that, we check in the water with Lisa.
I think it's a little bit opposite this time. So we kept saying that where the spectator boats are, but this time I actually think the wind's rotated a little bit and the opposite side. But as we've seen, you can be 10 meters apart from someone else and it's completely different. It's all about moding. So do you go low and fast and find the next pressure, or you squeeze up high close to the wind and stay in the gust? So it's a real balancing act out here.
Yeah, keep an eye out for the black foils here, Todd, as well. They've got to that side of the course, Lisa said. They're right on the edge of that breeze. They could be up, moving up the fleet here. They have the right of way. Rockwool Denmark must keep clear. France must keep clear. But how are the black foils going to find their way to gate 3?
And during the space of Lisa's report, it is France that has now moved into that 3rd position. Germany's dropped back to 5th overall, with the black foils moving up to 4th.
So tight. So one person that's struggling to put a foot wrong at the moment. I don't know what magic dust went into that left-hand side of the British boat, but Emirates GBR once again leading here. They are clinical.
Bonds Flying Rouge, once again, Tom Slingsby threading the needle, knowing that he's already into the event final.
Not too much, mate. Going neutral diff.
Neutral diff. They're talking about the balance between how much load is on each rudder. You can pull down on one rudder and lift with the other, so there's a differential between the two. But if you overdo that, too much downforce, and you can just suck yourself down into the water.
And Germany, Deutsche Bank, they decide to follow Spain in here, but did they not see that Rockwool Denmark right in front of them is off the foil, so that's a bit of a roadblock for the Germans.
Yeah, he's done a good job of dodging it, but at the moment they've got a lot of work to do. As of the black foils, they need a mistake from the French, and at the moment Delapierre's not making any.
Speaking of not making mistakes, Hannah, your former team, Emirates GBR, they have just got the magic sauce today.
Yeah, they're doing a really nice job in these really difficult conditions. Just keeping everything nice and calm. But as ever, you know, you've got to convert that in the final.
Yeah, looking for a picket fence scoreline at the moment, aren't they? There could be a lot of 10s coming in for them here at the moment. It's just that conversation on board, that communication so hard. And if you keep the tempo right in these conditions, then you're going to be doing pretty well. France still in 3rd though, and really that's the crucial boat on the course in terms of the race to the final. If France stay there, no one can do anything about it.
Get a little credit to the Swiss. They opt for that left-hand side. Sebastian Schneider and his crew, after a great performance the last event in Portsmouth. You fly in the hole there.
Yeah, it's a little bit aggressive, but there's nothing Contan likes more than to push these boats hard.
So the French really control their destiny, Stevie, if they're going to get into that final. If they can stay ahead of the Germans and the Kiwis, they are in.
Yeah, they are. And right now the Swiss look like they could be taking a big gain over the British. They have the right of way and they're in a lot of wind on that side of the course. Lisa was telling us it was a little bit better on the right-hand side, but they're away from the French at the moment. The French are not on the good side of the course, but to me, they're in good wind. There's a big dark patch coming at them. They've got a lot of breeze. And as I say, they just need to stay ahead of that German boat to the right. Germany have got a split, though, and if you're the boat behind, all you want is a split. Gives you a chance. Lisa, are the Germans going to get the magic gust of wind out on that side of the course?
They are going to get it, but I think the French were too far ahead at the bottom. They're not got a good angle, the French, but they're going super fast.
Just wait.
You can see there, 28 kilometers of wind compared to 23 kilometers of wind on the French boat. Is it going to be enough for them to catch up?
Well, it all comes down to this. This is the penultimate leg, leg 5 of 6, and then the field will be cut to just the top 3. Switzerland's going to have a great finish here as they will cross the line. Looks to be they will take the win here in race number 7, but they were just too far out on the overall leaderboard to really make a difference. Now, Emirates GBR, you see the Bonds Flying Rouge. It looks like they are pretty much locked in, and now we keep our eye on positions 4 and 7. That's France and Germany Deutsche Bank.
Germany need a bit of magic here. They're nearly 200 meters behind with 400 or 500 meters to go.
And as they approach the line, the Emirates winning moment in race number 7 in Sassnitz goes the way of Switzerland. Great performance by Sebastian Schneider and crew.
Great performance by them, but not enough really, as we see France are well positioned. France are going to bring this home here. They've just got one manoeuvre to stick. The Australians need to be sure. They've got to keep clear on board Australia. France has right of way here. I think he'll be round the front of him just. I think that was clean. Just clean by the Bonds Flying Rouge, and Delapierre will just want to keep things simple.
And as they come to the line, it's not a bad Super Sunday for Emirates GBR. A first, a first, and a second. And then you'll have the Bonds Flying Rouge looking to take 3rd, so they are into the final with Emirates GBR. And then it is France. They check in just at the line in 4th place behind the Australians.
Well, before this event, I said it was absolutely crucial the French made the final, France or North Star. Well, it's France that have made it happen here. In that whole chase for the season, France now have got to go out and convert this into a win, and then it could be absolutely transformative after what's been a real roller coaster season for that French team.
Stevie, after you notice that when they crossed the finish line, or just prior to them crossing the finish line, Quentin Delapierre did not seem happy. And I don't know if he knew or he'd done the math, because the Australians just edged him out for 3rd. So maybe in his mind, that was the point he needed to get in. But I think we're going to confirm here now whether they are in or not, but it looks like the French have done just enough to make that final.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might have been a French celebration. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and scrub up on my French, but I think potentially that, believe it or not, was Quentin happy.
With the Germans finishing down in 8th, they just miss out on that opportunity. But for a moment there, they had the fans really believing that it was possible, as they were going to make their first event final on home waters. It would have been a great moment, not to be, as the Swiss win, Emirates GBR takes 2nd, and Australia will hold on for 3rd with France in 4th.
Yeah, but a great weekend for the Germans, Todd. Great weekend overall.
As Canada comes across the line as well, and then it'll be 10th place. We're going to Red Bull Italy, up-and-coming team, and not their best weekend, but CEO Jimmy Spithill will have them back and ready to go in Saint-Tropez in about 3.5 weeks' time.
Being able to come back in the final is going to be a proud moment for any of these teams.
All right, we're about to find out who is going to lift the wheel at the end of the day. 1 minute to go before the event final. Remember, Emirates GBR had their boat damaged last night. It looked like they wouldn't be sailing today, and here they are in the event final. Quentin Delapierre and the French Stevie, they had a bib moment where he goes over the wheel, through the wheel on Friday. They're in the final, and of course, the perennial favorites, the Bonds Flying Rouge and Tom Slingsby. Yeah, you give it to any of them. They've all sailed great. They all deserve to be here, and I think the start will be more important than in the other fleet races. Now there's more space on the course and more of the boats can make their own decision. Emirates, Great Britain and Australia, well, they're in a tight fight. Australia now struggling there. The Bonds Flying Rouge have got to do some serious work. We've got some tricky manoeuvres to come here. I like where the French are in space, though. Delapierre's been starting well. He has the Rolex pole predictor on him, and he's looking good here as we come in towards the start line. Pole position towards the spot where Emirates Great Britain are, but it's all about acceleration. Bonds Flying Rouge is going to need a comeback. Look for that line to turn white. Fletcher's going to get it right here.
Oh, Emirates GBR are going to be leading at Mark 1, I think, here. They've just got to pop onto the foils. They have. They're gone. They're going to be flying towards Mark 1. Aggressive against Australia, positioned well against the French, and now fast towards Mark 1. Emirates GBR have got it right so far.
They left 5 away. Yeah. Here it is.
And as they approach mark number 1, the question is, how much distance can Emirates GBR put between themselves, the French, and the Bons Flying Rouge? The race for the title is on here in Sassnitz.
Yeah, it looks light after this first mark. The Rolex sprint leader there, GBR. Well, they've nailed that, haven't they? You want to go round the first mark in breeze if you're the first boat, because if you're not in wind, it probably means the boat behind is.
We've got pressure coming to us here. Coming up still. Yeah, we've got pressure time. Yep. Down.
Big wind shift here. None of them are moving down the course very quickly. Expect the Australians to potentially have a little attack option here. Emirates Great Britain are in breeze, though.
They're not going to lay, I don't think. Nice angles.
Putting themselves in a nice sort of protected position between the fleet and the mark there. But on a day like today, you can't afford to give anyone any leverage and separation because the breeze is so tricky to read.
Yeah, but they're really well positioned. Look, Emirates Great Britain are sailing into really nice breeze here. Okay, we hear there from Dylan. So interesting here. So, okay, control the controllable. One in right, that means one more manoeuvre. Let's take a right turn. The French are basically going to have to follow that, and it'll be a big moment whether Australia rolls the dice or not.
Good opportunity to go down on the water. Lisa Darman, and whose position do you like, and where's the sweet spot for this event final?
I think it's pretty nice to be Emirates Great Britain now and have the choice. But I think one thing that's so hard out here is because the wind direction and speed's changing so much, is trying to choose those ley lines, whether it's that gate or the gate they'll be coming up to. You know, that's really where things have been won or lost out here.
So we've got a split here. Emirates Great Britain like the right turn, which is good, but we could see from that helicopter shot there was wind if you take the left turn. So I don't think it's a problem for either of the boats behind to split away. There will be wind that way, and it will then ask a question. Here we go. What are the Bons Flying Rouge do? They look like they might split the course. Yep, there they go. Left turns for the Bons Flying Rouge. They're going to roll the dice early in the race here, Slingsby.
Three-time champions of SailGP. They haven't won since New Zealand event number 2. That's Tom Slingsby and company. As Stevie said, they're going to take a chance here and see what happens. They're already going to finish in the top 3. The only boat out there right now that has not won an event this year is the French.
Okay, crucial moment here in the race. We can see both the boats on the left are not really moving up the course ladder line-wise. The wind is rotated to the Bons Flying Rouge side here, but they're still going to be a little bit behind, but they might have closed the game up a little bit. And what sort of breeze will they be sailing into later? GBR off the foils, in no breeze. France foiling seriously 30 kilometres an hour faster. Emirates GBR first to third, I think, here.
That's it. You can't always keep yourself between the fleet and the mark, and just that little bit of separation out of the mark has opened up the door.
I was just seeing the Oracle cloud there that Emirates GBR were in nearly 5 kilometres an hour left wind, and that was just enough to get them off the foils and put them down in the water. So now it's a straight fight between France and Australia. But again, we've seen anything can happen very quickly right now. Bons Flying Rouge, look how smooth the boat looks here on this flat German water. Good angle for Australia as well here, Todd. Straight up the course.
When they say charging, that means that they will have a manoeuvre when they get to this bottom hand of the screen, and they do have a minimum speed that they can pull off a foiling tack. So they're going to make sure that as soon as they want to make that decision, that they're going fast enough to do that.
Slingsby right now is really hoping that in front of him is a nice gust of wind.
Okay, let's stand by there.
No, he's given up. He's saying the wind's going to stay favouring the French for the time being, but they've gone from third to second. They've closed the gap. It's about being patient here and take the opportunities when you did. They split last time at gate 2. What's going to happen at gate 3?
The Bons Flying Rouge were third off the line. They now drop back to second place, and France inherits the lead. So the French still looking for their first event win of the season. Will it be today in Germany? We are halfway through the course, leg 3 of 6. It is France at gate number 3. The Bons Flying Rouge in second, and here comes Emirates GBR.
And Emirates GBR are in phase with the wind here. Emirates GBR will go left. If they can go left and manoeuvre early, they could be back in the lead very, very quickly here. This one's favouring Emirates GBR at the moment. If they can stay on the foils, no, they're down off the foils. It's a full reload for the whole fleet. They're all off the foils. France first back up again. Oh, it was inches away from Emirates GBR. making that and taking the lead again.
Oh, God. This is painful. It's okay. They're struggling too. You're just holding this angle till we get the pot.
All about keeping cool in this situation and seeing where you can pick back up again.
But look at the difference. I mean, France right now going 60 kilometers an hour. Emirates GBR was down to 17. Now they're starting to build, Stevie, and so they'll be foiling really soon. But this is literally the definition of snakes and ladders.
Todd, I told you we were playing Mario Kart powered by nature out here today, didn't you? And this final is demonstrating that. France are doing a very nice job of staying calm. Sail your own boat well. That's all you can control is what you sail. Left-hand side of screen, Emirates GBR. They're nearly going straight down the course. They have the most wind. They have the most speed at the moment. Here we go, the Oracle Clown. We're up into it. Wind speed, GBR, 8 kilometers an hour more wind, and that's turning into over 10, 12 kilometers an hour more boat speed. This maneuver is crucial, and the decision at gate number 4, the final turning gate, is going to be absolutely massive here. Can Contant de la Pierre keep it calm? Oh, they've lost the rudders on the British boat. Oh, they've just stayed foiling.
Emirates GBR's 5th final. This will be their 2nd win of the season, and it is Contant de la Pierre now applying the pressure as the French look for their 1st win in season 5.
Pretty textbook there. Hey, Hannah, he's turned straight in front of Emirates GBR, but now he's got to make a decision. You'd want to have the decision. Lisa, which way are you turning at this final turning gate, left or right?
I think the left turn is actually quite strong, and then you want to be able to maneuver pretty quickly and then head all the way over to the other way where those boats are.
Okay, well, Contant de la Pierre clearly heard that, takes the left turn. I anticipate surely the Bonds Flying Ruse will take a split here and roll the dice one more time. There he goes. Slingsby splits away.
Look for an opportunity on the beat.
Good patience by the British there. Contant de la Pierre first to move away. Emirates Great Britain will push all the way to the boundary, and the Bonds Flying Ruse, well, has he seen something special with this return?
See, this is hard for the French because you've got the 2 boats behind you going opposite ways, and on a day like today, you've got no control over what's happening to either of them. So really, really hard decision making, but they do look to be in really good pressure going nicely up the course at the moment.
Yeah, and I think as well, you know, in the positive sense, they've got themselves in a lot more wind, and you do get the first decision, like Lisa said on that first lap. At least you've got the first decision. They've made a very, very good decision so far. 200-meter gain for Les Bleus at the moment. This looks pretty strong. However, we've seen that the final 600 metres of this upwind leg can be crucial. Left-hand side of screen, there is good wind. Max Gauche, furthest left is what Kevin Pepinay is saying to Contant de la Pierre there. One more manoeuvre coming. Will they stay on the foils?
Oh, they keep it dry.
They're so aggressive with their turns, so much more than a lot of the other boats, aren't they?
Well, Contant does like to drive it like he stole it, there's no doubt about that. Now, he's setting up, GBR are going to come wider here. Will France be able to make the final turning mark with no more manoeuvres? Could be crucial. He's in good breeze, but the British are going to stretch wide against him here. Not much wind in front of the French, Todd.
So a big moment coming here in 200 meters. France has the lead. Emirates GBR in 2nd. There you see the Australians. They are the top of the course, and it all comes down to this. There you see the Emirates finish line in the distance. It's going to be 2 maneuvers now for the French.
This manoeuvre now is absolutely crucial. France needs to stay foiling. If he foils, I think he's going to take the final. Oh, that was beautifully done in not a lot of wind.
And they'll make this turn, and they will see the finish line in front of them. With the Bonds Flying Ruse and Emirates GBR closing down, will they have the speed? Can they take it to the line? Here we go. The race is on.
It's got to just stay foiling, Todd. They've got to stay over 33. I think they're foiling still. They're going to get it done, Todd.
Here we go. So the 3rd time is a charm. 3 finals, and now their first event win since season 3. Give the win in Sassnitz to the French.
Allez, les Bleus, gay! Oh, Contant. What a weekend.
The Emirates winning moment goes to Team France. The Bonds Flying Ruse will finish in 2nd, and Emirates GBR will wrap up the top 3. Great week of racing by all 3 teams.